Come in, come in, you all hit that like and share. But let me get some things did behind the scenes before I start this live stream. But welcome to the live stream. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I think I accidentally hit live on Facebook. I don't want this. Let me change that. I don't want this live stream to go on my personal Facebook page. But we're going to talk about why gas prices are spiking. I did a live stream kind of on my recliner yesterday. Why we're seeing the gas prices spiking. Why more than ever you need to prepare. I know right now you are in some areas, you are seeing a state fair, you are seeing Halloween and Christmas decors at the same time. And I've gone over this time and time again that this is how big businesses market to you to take your money, right? This is how big businesses have psychologically, right, train the mindset of people to spend their money, to be spenders and not investors. Spenders and not investors. And people, we are headed into a recession. I told you all that the 8th month, the number 8 is the upside down infinity sign. It represents a new cycle, right? September 26th, my birthday, uh, ended the Shemitah year, which means the head of year, Uh, do not go off of the Gregorian calendar that you see. That means the calendar that you were taught in schools or just taught living in the United States. You need to go by the Hebrew Greek calendar. And according to the Hebrew Greek calendar, we are in a new year, right? So come in. If you care about the state of the economy, if you care about your personal economy, make sure you are subscribed to my channel on YouTube. Um, and again, let me see if I can stop this. If you are watching me on Facebook, hop over to my YouTube. I'm going to remove the live stream on my personal Facebook page, right? Remove it. So thank you so much, Tony. It's great to see you as well. Thank you so much. And I pray that your health as well as your wealth is doing great, is doing good. So I just want to share this for maybe 2 minutes as I get everything behind the scenes set up. This video was very profound to me. By Robert Kiyosaki. You will be shocked is the title of it, Who Pays the Most Taxes. So I'm going to hit play on this.
The problem with getting a job is, who do you think pays the most taxes? The owner of the business or the worker?
Well, it's clearly the employee who's paying the most taxes. And you know, I started as an employee right out of school, and I was paying high taxes. Even though my job is to reduce taxes, I was paying high taxes. And then about 15 years ago, I started my own business. I started my own CPA firm, and I was now self-employed, and I was even paying more taxes. So it wasn't until I started acting like a bigger business and was really a significant size business that I started paying less taxes. And it's because it's the business owners, and it's the entrepreneurs, and it's the investors, the active investors, that really pay the least amount of taxes.
Financial education is about not working for money. Like, one of the first questions when I finally realized what my rich dad was saying, I said, well, when do I never need a paycheck again? See, my goal wasn't, go to the moon or, cure cancer. My job was, when would I never need a paycheck again? Because as long as you need a paycheck, be it from an employer or like my poor dad, he was so afraid of losing his government pension. And I'm going, Jesus, what a way to run your life. Your pension? So my old man kind of got fired. He lost his pension. It was the most frightening thing in the world to him. He had no pension. Then it was Social Security, which is even worse. Yeah. So that's why my goal when I was about your age, a little older, around 25, I said, my goal is to never need a paycheck again from anybody, even the government. I don't want any Medicare, Social Security, or whatever, well, I was a military pilot. So, you got to get the military pilot pension. I said, you do, but I'm not going to. Financial security is more important than job security. One of the more important lessons my rich dad taught me, he said there was 4 types of people in the world of business or money, whatever he said. And this here are the 4 different types of people, and he called this the cash flow quadrant. So E stands for employee, S stands for self-employed, small business or specialist like a doctor or a lawyer. B stands for big business, 500 employees or more, and I stands for investor. Now the distinction here is this, is that each of these are 4 different types of people. They have 4 different tax laws for all 4 different types of people, and this is throughout the world. But it was my poor dad who always said to me, son, go to school so you can get a job. So my poor dad wanted me to be an employee like him. And there's nothing wrong with that and all this, except the tax laws are the worst for employees. As Warren Buffett says, he, as a business owner and investor, he pays a lower percentage rate than the employees. And many employees are having a tough time today. Not only is there high gas prices, but there's going to be higher taxes. My mother wanted me to become a doctor or a specialist or a small business person. And I said to my mom, S stands for smart. She just got a good point there because I didn't do well in school. So I wasn't going to make it there. It was my rich dad who advised me to become an entrepreneur or a big business owner like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, Michael Dell, all those guys who created Facebook and Yahoo and all this, or Google. And he wanted me to become an investor. So he started me playing the game of Monopoly, 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. So I learned to be an investor and I learned to be an entrepreneur. When I left school in the 60s, there was plenty of jobs.
Wow. So that's Robert Kiyosaki about the different ways, the different brackets you can be on, and why, if you are an employee or you own your own business, you're a small business owner, you pay the most in taxes. This is not to throw shade or to discourage you in whichever way you're earning money, but it is providing you with the financial information that you need to do a financial transformation. And that starts mentally. That starts mentally of recognizing, hey, I'm working for money, right? I will never get out of the rat race. I'll never get out of the hamster wheel. I will never escape this rat race because I'm working for money that's highly taxed. And combined with inflation, inflation is the rising prices of your goods and services. We're going to talk about gas prices, why they're escalating. I'm always going to be behind the 8 ball. So what you have to do is convert your social security number into a business entity. One of the best business entity that you can convert your social security number into is a 470 business model. That means 470 tax deductions. There's more tax deduction that you will get from an LLC, a C Corp, or an S Corp. I have text cash flow to 254-788-1144 on the screen to help you understand how to do just that. Now, why is that important? Because it takes less of your tax money that you're working hard for every day, and it brings that money back to you. It shifts it back to the person that's working for it and not giving it to the Fed, the Federal Reserve, right? Most people don't know who the Federal Reserve is, but I'll say it this way. United States is not a country, it's a corporation. And how you earn your money in the United States depends on how much money that you keep. And if you do not convert your social security number into a corporation, you're going to be one of the ones, unfortunately, in this financial system reset that's going to get pushed down further down the poverty line, because you cannot make it with 30 to 40% of taxes being taken away from every dollar that you earn, and you're only bringing home 60 cents for every dollar that you make. Small business owners, right? Oftentimes they look just like the employee, but they get taxed the worst. Employees get taxed first. And so small business owners, they don't have leverage. They don't have people helping them to earn money. In most cases, they don't have a system. They're doing much of the work themselves. And I believe in leveraged income, not labored income, for two reasons. Number one, because John D. Rockefeller said and made this quote that I'd rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. J. Paul Getty is the first one to make that quote. He was the first billionaire. Again, that's the 1111 principle. That's why you always see 1111 behind my name, behind my logo, behind my brand. Deuteronomy 1:11, the Lord thy God, the God of our ancestors, will bless you and increase you 1,000 times more. Then the Bible goes on to say, one to put 1,000 to flight, but two will put 10,000. So people that's working so low is not going to make it in this financial system reset. That system is not favored by the government. It's not favored by the Federal Reserve. You have to work in a systematic way that you can leverage the time, the talents, the skill sets, the mindset, and the knowledge of other people who've gone where you want to go. If you want to stop spinning your wheels, if you want to stop putting in all the hours and not seeing increase in your finances, these are the changes that you're going to have to make. So let's get into gas prices and let me show you all what's ahead, right? And I told you all, October again, it will happen. October is here. And there are still some people who have a consumer mindset because big businesses, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever your grocery store chain, is doing things like this to market to you to take your money. Because you have not been taught or you don't realize that it is systematically planned for you to continue to live paycheck to paycheck. This was one section of Home Depot when I went shopping today. And at the same time, this was the other section, a 6-foot Santa. Home Depot had Santa, Christmas decors, Santa Claus was singing, the wolf was howling to get your money at the same time. This, again, this not including the state fair for some people. So every month there is a system in place. There is a holiday created to systematically take your money. And if you don't have this financial education, you will not succumb past this recession going into a depression. You won't survive it, people. Right? I would love to tell you a very nice way to say it, but this one is not going to be like 2008. In fact, it's going to be much harsher than 2008. And like I have been predicting, I always go by the Bible. The Bible is the number one book about prosperity, about banking, about wealth and riches. But the Bible also mentions poverty as well. And the mindset and the actions of those in poverty in the Bible is very, very different than the mindset and actions of the rich and wealthy. There's a difference between financial literacy and financial education. But there are 6 words in financial literacy that you need to be familiar with. One is income. One is expenses, right? The other 2 are assets and liability. And the 5th and 6th is cash flow. Income is different than cash flow. And your expenses are different if you make those expenses as a small business owner and an employee versus you making those expenses as a 470 home business model that's teaching you these financial tax strategies, these legal tax loopholes that the rich and wealthy use so they can continuously be rich and wealthy. I'm not going to get into whether it's legal to pay taxes or not. All I'm giving you is a strategy to pay less taxes, to keep more of the money that you're making. Because many people that want to dispute whether it's legal or not to pay taxes, they have not gotten out the system of becoming a straw man, right? And or if they are out the system, where they are a natural born citizen is what I meant, right? They live in poverty and they're harassed by the government and legal officials whenever the opportunity presents itself. That's not the lifestyle I want. When I can use a very simple model to have tax-free money that's inexpensive, that does not cause me that harassment or that poverty lifestyle. See, I want to make a lot of money and get taxed less on it. See, means again, tax refund. Means again, and fund, F-U-N-D, means money. On average, people overpay in taxes $500 a month out of their paychecks. That's $6,000 a year. And small business owners get taxed even more because the more money you make, the more the government take, as Robert Kiyosaki broke down. Now, financial education, after you get the financial information, you get the financial literacy. Once you understand the difference between an asset and a liability, an asset is anything that feeds you, that puts money into your pocket. Liabilities starve you, take money out of your pocket. Now you can understand the difference between income and cash flow. Cash flow is created through assets and or collaboration. Income with the letter I has just that in it, I. Income is created individually. And those that create income individually trade a whole lot of their time for just a little bit of money. So this is why I'm helping people get that extra $200, $300, $400, $500, $600. My highest amount for a married couple was $1,400 out of their paycheck because you're working for the money anyway. So why not get the maximum amount of take-home pay instead of getting a tax refund from the government and they give you that money back with 0% interest, and then they take your money that they take out of your paycheck and invest it for higher interest, higher returns on the investment. Most people, if they just had an extra $500, they can just find an extra $500. They will not have to file bankruptcy. And there's nothing wrong with filing bankruptcy, but guess what? You have to have the money to sustain a bankruptcy payment for at least 5 years, or you're going to default. And if you're going to default on the bankruptcy because you can't afford the payments, you're going back to ground zero anyway. So cash flow is the name of the game. Get familiar with the game Monopoly. The number one rule in the game of Monopoly is there is no money, right? There is no money. It is all board money or paper money in Monopoly. And that's the same thing it is in this real world. The government does not hide anything from you. The elite, they don't hide anything from you. They tell you what they're going to do in code. They tell you what they're going to do in the Bible. The Bible is a book that's full of predictions. It's full of cycles. It's full of prophecies. But most people think those prophecies are what's called religious prophecy. No, the people that wrote the plan in the Bible were not good people. They were not, they don't worship the God that many people that go to church worship. In fact, they are often the most evil people that you ever want to study and read about in history. But they put their plans, their prophecies, their predictions. Oh, this was the other P that I was looking for. Their patterns in the Bible. And if you can decode the Bible, or if you will submit to someone that can, you'll understand, right, how this works as well. How these prophecies and patterns and predictions work. Monopoly, the rules of monopoly is you don't get any money for landing on free parking, people. There is no such thing as free lunch. There's no such thing as help me, please, just, pleading for help. In fact, the Bible also gives you the prosperity plan and it reveals a poverty plan. The prosperity plan is in Joshua chapter 1, the only book in the Bible that mentions success. And it states that if you will meditate on the words of the Bible, and oftentimes meditation is not taught, right? In churches, you don't hear meditation, but the Bible, the only place where success is mentioned is the word meditation is mentioned with it in Joshua. And it states, if you will meditate on this word day and night, you will have good success. Meditate to do everything that it says to do. You have to do in the Bible. You can think it, you can say it, but the last level prerequisite is to do. Matthew 7:7, ask, and it shall be given. Seek, and you shall find. Knock. Knock means to do. It means action oriented. After you see it, after you say it, now you have to implement it. Now you have to take action to see the success. So now, people, why do I not save cash money? Yes, I do have cash on hand for emergencies. Until this Fed coin is released, until this financial system reset happens in the first quarter of 2023, I do have cash on hand. But I also follow the rules of the rich and wealthy, and I go for broke, which means I convert much of my cash, however way I earn it, into assets. As Robert Kiyosaki, again, I think Robert Kiyosaki is the GOAT when it comes to teaching financial education. He's the greatest of all time. Robert Kiyosaki says it this way: why would you save money when money loses value every day? Why would you save something that loses its purchasing power, loses its value every day? And guess what? The sad part is 1 out of 4 Americans do not even have the cash to save because they're getting highly taxed. And listen, having someone to prepare your taxes and learning tax strategies and tax education is 2 different things. Tax preparation and tax education is totally different things. And most of you all just have tax preparation. You don't have tax education. You don't have the knowledge that taxes is your biggest stealer of wealth. I want you all to ask yourself this question: why is it that debt is not taxed? I might say that again. Why is debt not taxed? Why is debt not taxed? Because that's the way the banks are able to operate. For every dollar that you put in the bank, that you deposit, whether you have your paycheck on direct deposit or you make some money and deposit in the bank, they're able to lend out 10 times that amount. If they're not able to lend from the money you deposit, they're out of business. So the incentive they give people that use debt is that you can use debt for tax-free money. This is the thing. Most people have not been taught the right way to use debt. Don't tell me the rich and wealthy says get out of debt. I know they're telling you to get out of debt because you're buying liabilities. You're buying things that depreciate in value with it. You're not buying assets that appreciate. And I say it this way: why work your ass off if you're not going to buy assets? Why work your ass off if you're not going to buy assets? So this is where you flip the game and you put cash into appreciating assets, things that's going to grow in equity and cash flow. I prefer cash flow first because capital gain tax is highly taxed as well. When you flip cash and you double up your cash by trading forex or cryptocurrency, or you flip real estate, flipping cash in a short amount of time is tax highest. So investors that can hold cash into assets that will create them cash flow are the winners of the game. And people, invest in assets that you have control over. That you have. Now, I know you don't have control over cryptocurrency. You don't have control if Bitcoin is at 19,000 today or reaches its all-time high of 69,000 this week. But the thing is, you don't have control if silver is $17 today or it reaches $500, which Robert Kiyosaki predicts physical silver will reach $500 in 4 months. You don't have control over the pricing, but you will have control over when you want to buy and sell. I know people that's investing in assets. They have to wait till a collective group of people say, okay, we want to sell. And they don't even own the asset. They're gaining interest rates from the asset, like universal life insurance policies, like land certificate. And guess what? That money is taxed as well. The money that they're earning on that interest is taxed as well. The money that you earn on cash value life insurance interest, unless you hold it for a long time and pass it generationally, and when you die and keep that money there, but if you put it out and borrow against yourself, the interest on that is taxed as well. So the interest that people gain from keeping, if they gain any interest from keeping their money in a savings account, is taxed. So when you put your money into God's assets, again, the Bible is a book about prosperity and banking. In Genesis chapter 2, it tells you Abraham was very rich in land, cattle, gold and silver. Gold and silver is real money. I don't care what Dave Ramsey tells you, that it's just shiny, pretty metals. In the Constitution is real money. So why is that important? Because when this currency system reset happens, gold and silver will be used to reset the currency system. And because they're going to need it, especially silver, which is also going to be an industrial metal, which means silver is mostly used in electronics and EV vehicles and RFID chips and 5G Wi-Fi and RFID chips again, 5G Wi-Fi, this new technology, cell phone batteries. So silver is a two-sided beast that is money, and it's a metal that has to be used for this wealth transfer, for this fourth generation wealth transfer. And this is why I got my website on the screen, queenofcoinsilver.com, so you can get silver at wholesale price, and you can earn additional income from investing in that silver, unlike the online websites such as JD Bullion and SD Bullion and JM Bullion, that don't offer you any incentive for buying their silver. You can actually earn additional income to reinvest in silver or to have extra income coming into your household by buying the most undervalued asset in the world, which is right now silver and cryptocurrency. Now, why silver and cryptocurrency? Because they are decentralized. Cash is centralized. Cash is centralized, meaning that cash is controlled, inflation, by the government. Silver and certain cryptocurrency, I say it that way, It's outside of government's control. Listen, they cannot make more of silver. They cannot do it. They can make more of this, but they cannot make more of this. It's out of their control. This is made by the infinite God, infinite spirit, infinite intelligence. This is out of their control of producing and making and printing out or giving a stimulus package more and more, because the more money that's pumped into the economy, the higher prices you're going to see. So with that being said, Los Angeles, why gas prices is going up, as I, told you all. Again, you all hit that like and share button. Well, they break record high. Here's why they're so high, why they could fall soon. Gas prices in Los Angeles set a record high today when the average gas cost a gallon rose to $6.49 because the supply chain has worsened. They're saying refineries are down in California, the ongoing war in the Ukraine, and high state taxes are driving up the prices in the West Coast. And people, this is all about that they want to take over the bigger cities with this new like Silicon Valley, and that's already in California. They want to take over California and especially New York to be the high-tech cities, to be the mining operations when cryptocurrencies and these new digital cash come in. And they want to drive out the middle class and the working class in California and New York alike. Also, Saudi Arabia did not file for it. They did not agree. They lowered the oil prices for Europe, but not the United States. I told you all when Joe Biden was over there, President Biden was over in Saudi Arabia, and the news reported that he was there to, try to convince them to increase the gas production. It was not about that. He was there to try to convince them to keep the exchange in their oil for the United States dollar. So they lowered the prices for Europe, but raised them again for the United States. The government, the White House, the Biden administration is saying that OPEC is the Organization for Petroleum Exporting Countries, Organization for Petroleum Exporting Countries, is siding with Russia. So I've been bringing before you all about the new BRICS countries that have joined together. BRICS is an acronym for the 5 countries that are emerging, and they are turning against the United States. They don't want the United States dollar. They're saying we have the resources, we have the commodities, we have the oil. China has more gold. So why should we exchange our goods and services for your dollar? And they know that the dollar is crashing, because when the dollar goes lower and crashes, prices goes higher. So BRICS is an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They're all in cahoots, if you want to say it. They're all in allegiance and agreement that they dump in United States dollar. And it's only a matter of time before you see the Fed coin, and people going into this winter and fall, as I've been telling you, you're going to see higher and higher gas prices. Now, the Biden administration also is doing a reversal for those student loan debt that they've recently said that they would offer relief or student loan forgiveness for. So millions of borrowers now will be ineligible for student loan forgiveness. So this unprecedented plan for student loan forgiveness, a major debt relief from millions of Americans, they discreetly changed a portion of the program's guidance. And, this is under the Perkins and Federal Family Education. So people, when I tell you all this is going to be a recession into a depression, and you need to prepare and plan like never before, I am so serious about that. If it's ever time to raise your credit score and get the maximum amount of money out of your paycheck, This is the time right now. Goldman Sachs are even coming in and said that the price of oil is going to rise at 100. That's the double 1111 sign. $110 a barrel for OPEC announces the supply cuts. 1111 means warning. It means chaos, confusion, destruction as of 9/11, as in Genesis 11. And so when we saw the highest gas prices in June globally, the barrel of gas was at $100. So they're predicting at least $10 more. The last thing that I'm sharing with you, if you want to increase cash flow, you can get a decision within 24 hours. If you have a job, and if you're a small business owner, you can share this with employees or people that you're working with, people that's your clients, and get extra income coming in. That's residually, where you're not always trading your time, a whole lot of your time, for a little bit of money. You can get residual income by sharing this with your customers and your clients who are employees, so you can keep them as customers and clients, so they won't say, I cannot afford your products or services. And get residual income by offering them financial services. So how much will gas go up as OPEC slashes oil production? Gas prices that are already ticking back up. I saw a 10-cent increase overnight. This is saying it might increase 10% more following a move by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies to cut oil production people 2 million barrels per day. 2 million barrels per day. Also, housing, property developers, construction, new construction, they are under construction right now. They are not constructing these homes to buy, purchase. You won't be a first-time homeowner anymore, right? Now they are building these houses for renters only. This is what the World Economic Forum meant, WEF, World Economic Forum meant when they said you will own nothing and be happy. Said you're going to be happy because this is going to be so ugly that if you can just have a roof over your head, and California rent is increasing as well, you won't own it, but people, they say you're still going to be happy. Home ownership is going away. The ability to work a job and outpace inflation is going away. And I am telling you now to prepare. Increase your cash flow out of your small business or your paycheck. Increase your credit scores. All of this can happen when you test cash flow. And start investing in the lowest asset right now available, which is cryptocurrency and silver. If you're a person that like to have a physical asset in your hand and you can't deal with the volatiliness of cryptocurrency, even though BTC is back at 20,000. What I mean by volatileness is when you see the ups and the downs, the highs and lows, the crash and the burns. If you can't deal with this, even though you have some real good blue chip cryptos that are very inexpensive and pennies on a dollar, I advise people for both cryptocurrency and silver, because when you need groceries and this dollar system totally crashes until they do the reset, you're going to be able to go to the store and get for 1 ounce or 2 ounce or 3 ounces of silver, or maybe a neighbor or someone, a farmer, you're going to be able to exchange God's money, real money. We're going back to the future for items that you need, for food, for things that you need in your household, or maybe to travel abroad. If anything crashes in this digital system and you're not able to convert your money, and a lot of people they're not trusting the banks anyway. The banks are cutting off the amount that you can withdraw by the day, the withdrawal limit. They're also cutting off the amount of money that you can withdraw for ATMs. Now is the time to prepare for this. Is going to be a great financial reset. Take advantage of it and get rich in the recession. Make sure, again, you're subscribed to me on YouTube, Queen Millie Moves. We're making millionaire moves over here. We're playing chess, not checkers, because the government is playing poker with you and Russian roulette. Make the moves you need to make today so you can get richer in this recession and be a part of this wealth transfer and not the poverty transfer. Thank you for tuning in, you all. Text the number, visit the Queen of Coin Silver website, because wealth does not happen by chance. It happens by choices. Queen out.